Hello and welcome or welcome back. Today we're just gonna be playing some more Killing Floor 1 and just talking about stuff. So yeah, I'll stop rambling and we'll just get right into it. Thank y'all for chilling, by the way, as always. So weird, can't turn on my flashlight all the time like in KF3. Almost feels like a cheat. How you can have your flashlight on all the time in that game. Sorry if I feel a little, or if I sound a little messed up. It's that season where I'm just gonna be sick for like 6 months. You get kids going back to school, they all get together, all the kids converge, and then super germs just, you know, where the hell is everything? All right, over there. Yeah, super, like everything just gets together, and yeah, super germs. Everybody gets fucking sick. This one's called Elementary School. Yeah, I know, it's kind of messed up, isn't it? But it kind of goes along with the movie that I want to talk about today, which you may or may not have seen, all depending on how old you are, I guess. I mean, I haven't really seen the movie advertised in a very long time, or like just out on TV or anything. But it's got a couple of people in it that we all know. Some of us might even love, I don't know. Let's see. Strange Little Clot. What the hell is happening here? Yep. Yeah, that movie that I'm talking about is called The Good Son. I believe it came out in 1993, and it's like a what would you call it? Like a suspense, I guess, or thriller. I don't know what that would be, but it has Macaulay Culkin and Elijah Wood when they were just little kids, probably like I don't know. I want to say like they're probably like 12 or something. I don't know. I didn't do my research. My bad. I never do. But but it's pretty good. Like Macaulay Culkin plays a like a little psychopath. So I don't know. How it starts is Elijah Wood is he's like I think he's at a soccer game, right? He's playing soccer, and then like he gets picked up because his mom's in the hospital. I'm assuming she's been like dying of cancer or something. I can't really remember. So she's kind of she's on her deathbed. It's a sad scene, and so what ends up happening is he ends up going to live with his aunt, uncle, and cousins for a little while his dad goes and he has to go on like a business trip to make a bunch of like the whole thing is he's gonna make a bunch of money so he can take care of him and his son, after the tragedy and everything. So it's a good reason. Yeah, and I don't really remember where they live. It's like a really big, nice house, like off of off of a coast, like they're built up on like a like a big old like mountainside kind of. What do you call that? Like a big old cliffside. That's what it is. Like it's pretty cool. It's pretty neat. Rich families. But anyway, like the whole thing is he's going to live obviously with them for a little while, and him and Macaulay Culkin grow closer because they're about the same age. They're cousins. So they start hitting it off just like kids do. And then like as time goes on, you just see kind of how bad he is, Macaulay Culkin. Like he just recently, I think it was recent, or within the last like year or two or something like that, his Macaulay's baby brother drowned in the bathtub in 6 inches of water, which is possible. I'm not really saying anything against it, but I'm just saying it was 6 inches of water. So we'll take that as you will. Which you find out, spoiler alert, that he had something to do with that. Macaulay had something to do with offing his baby brother. Mostly because he just wants attention, right? He I don't know, the kid, it's funny because the kid, he does a really good job as a child of like playing just like he's like a Hannibal Lecter-esque, he's like intelligent, he's telling people what they want to hear. He's not very old, so that's why it's just like, he's still a kid. He's not even a teenager. But yeah, anyway, So like I said before, things start to like turn. The kids are getting along just fine. You know, there's a baby sister too, by the way. I mean, she's not a baby sister, but a younger sister, a couple of years younger than them too. So she plays like the kind of like the annoying little sister. You know what I mean? But Elijah and her get along very well. You know, so there's that. Obviously, Macaulay Culkin feels a type of way about that. And so like the bad things. All right. Well, like it starts off kind of slow. Like Macaulay takes him over to a well in a cemetery, if I remember correctly, and he pulls up this box, right, and it's just a box of like he's got cigarettes, you know. So Macaulay Culkin lighting a cigarette and handing it to him. You know, they're a little kid, right? It's on Amazon, I believe, Amazon Prime. So if you guys want to watch it, it's definitely worth a watch. It's another shorter horror movie. I like those. But anyway, yeah, there's that, and then he like shows him. He shows Elijah his like what would you call it? It's almost like a spud gun type thing, but it shoots like marbles, right? So like I don't know. There was like a time where they were teasing that he was going to shoot a cat with it, right? But instead later on, there's a time where like they were ran off by a dog, and he felt slighted by that dog or something, because he ended up using it on that dog a little later on. Like him and Elijah are there, and he's aiming at the dog, and Elijah's like, "You stop messing around," or something like that. And you know, and then he just pulls the trigger, and he's like, "Sorry, I just meant to scare him." You know, he's all like sociopathic and shit. He does a really good job doing this movie. And only like I don't even know how old he is. He's a fucking child still. Yeah. So after he offs the doggo, they take it to that well and dump it down the well. That well is like very important. It's like a serial killer's like trophy room. You know what I mean? That's kind of what it reminds me of with not Elijah Wood, with Macaulay Culkin's character. And then what else happens here? Let's see, so I don't really forget anything. Oh, there's a scene where after all that dog shit, all that dog stuff happened, Elijah's kind of like more apprehensive about his cousin, you know, and rightfully so. Oh my God, I'm just holding the button. But let's see. Yeah, so there's a time where they go to a highway, and I remember this one being like they're on a bridge, like on an overpass or something like that, to, you know, over a highway. And I remember this scene just sticking out to me as a kid. And they take this doll, this man-sized doll, and like I can't remember. Oh yeah, Macaulay's just like, you know, he can't take it anymore, he can't stand it anymore, yada yada yada. He's gonna end it all, something along those lines. And Elijah's like, what are you talking about? And then he just drops this big doll in the middle of the road, and it causes this giant pile up on the highway. And I just remember that as a kid, and being like, holy fuck, man. Like that, and I didn't really realize the severity of something like that when I was young, you know. So it's just like, even then I was like, holy shit. I remember that being a movie, like a Macaulay Culkin movie when I was a kid. That was like, there was Home Alone, there was was it My Girl, where another movie where he dies, and then yeah, Good Son. I think there was another one in there too, but I remember just like watching those movies all the time. Yeah. Yeah, and there were like obvious little signs of his little like the fuck kind of elementary school is this anyway. Um yeah, there are signs of him like being a little psychopath too. Like there was a time when they were going up there into his treehouse, and Elijah slips, like a branch breaks, and he goes to fall, and Macaulay grabs him, and he's just like, "So if I dropped you, do you think you could fly?" You know, and he obviously pulls him up, but like that was just like a sign. It's just like, okay, that's not good. How did that not kill him? And like this whole time too, like Elijah's like getting closer to the family. Outside the father. The father's kind of just like a, you know, like I don't know, disconnected kind of, I guess. I mean, he's there, but he cares. He's just not like the mother, you know. It's 90s. Oh, shit. Why'd you pull out your knife, idiot? That makes me mad sometimes. Anyway. But, like, he's growing closer to the mother and the sister, and Macaulay don't like that. Like, that's his mom, and that's like a, you know, like it's typical kind of serial killer thing with the parent issues, one way or the other, you know. And Elijah was convinced that like his mom is gonna come back, you know, as like somebody. He was like, she came back as your mom, you know. That's pretty much what he's convinced of. He's a little kid coping with his mother dying, you know. I'm 35 years old. My mother passed away last year, and I feel for the kid, and I'm fucking 30 years older than him. I mean, he's not 5 years old in the movie, you know what I mean? Well, next up, there's a another like what I would say like another memorable scene. I guess all of these are, to me, the dog, the highway, like that stuff to me is just like, I don't know why it sticks out to me like years and years later, but I just remember that shit like it was yesterday. But anyway, they plan to go ice skating. The kids, you know, Elijah, Macaulay, and the little sister. And well, at this point, Macaulay is like pretty much like they're kind of back and forth. They're button heads, Elijah and Macaulay. Like he's just like, so you love my sister, you know, like you love my sister. She's such a sweet little girl. Like he plays a really good little psychopath, and that's why I like compare him to like a Hannibal Lecter, you know what I mean? But like, cause he does a really good job like psychologically, you know. Like there was a part where he like hints that he poisoned the family's food. Like Elijah finds him in the kitchen, like late at night, right? And like with the kitchen door open, but Macaulay's standing away from it. He's like, "You think I would poison my family's food?" You know, like he does a really good job just being a little nut job. And then like he makes Elijah look bad. Oh man, I gotta reload. He makes Elijah look really bad too. Makes him look like a psychopath, you know, to everybody else. Because his mom died, so everybody's just like, "Oh, he's got psychosis," you know. He's just a hurt kid, or you know, not psychosis. You know what I mean? Just something, you know, something up with him because his mother just died. You know, and he's like fucking 10, 12 years old, something like that. So hard to take. But like it's the psychological warfare is just good. You know, I enjoy that. But yeah, so there, and then like I guess he was implying that he was gonna hurt his sister in her sleep. So then he was like, "What are you gonna do? You gonna look over her all night?" So Elijah falls asleep in her room, and wakes up. And the kids are gone, and they're at the ice skating rink, or like the lake, right? The frozen lake to skate on. Hold on, let's kill this butthole first. Oh, he's dead. So then, like after Elijah realizes where they were, he races over to that frozen pond. I think I called it a lake. Whatever, I'm an idiot. So yeah, it skips to them, you know, Macaulay and his sister just like skating really fast, and the little girl was having a lot of fun, and I just always felt bad watching this scene. And well, there's a thin ice, there's like an area that's like taped off, right? Because there's thin ice. So you know what's gonna end up happening with that. Macaulay's going in circles with his sister, going real fast. She's having a lot of fun, and then he lets go of her, and that trajectory to get oh man, blunt force trauma, to you know, send her into the water, and it works. She goes onto the thin ice, you know. She stands there for a second, and then all of a sudden she just falls in, and then Macaulay kind of crawls over there to like help her, and he's like, you know, half-assing it, just flopping his hand out there, not grabbing her. She's yelling for him and grabbing at him, but he's not putting in any effort. And then she slips under the ice. And then by that time, there are a couple of adults with axes that come, and they get her out on time, and she ends up surviving. But that is just so fuck. I remember that scene as a kid, because I think that's what really kind of taught me about the dangers of like ice. You know, I think that's probably why it sticks out to me. Oh man, come on, bitch. There you go. One problem with these rockets is that they have to be so far away for them to work, but I think that that's probably because of like the radius. Yeah, so that's kind of like the beginning of the end of the movie at that time. Hold on, let's get through. Where did he go? You skip back? God. They always get stuck in that one spot. But at least they die eventually. Haha. Yeah, so at this point, like, Elijah's been kind of trying to tell the parents, like, There's something wrong with him. He's not right, yada, yada, yada. And then, like, I think that he was talking to the mom, and he was trying to just tell her, like, he to tell her who he is, pretty much, you know. And then she says that he had, like, he thinks that, I think he said he thinks that he killed the baby brother in the tub, and then she slaps him, and she's in denial, but at the same time, she's, well, that's what denial really is. Like, she knows what the truth is, you know. She's just in denial, you know. She knows that her son is, like, fucked up a bit, but, like, she's got that motherly, like, ignorance, you know, that willful ignorance, just because you love somebody. I guess it's not really just because it's a mother, but it just makes it stronger because it's his mother, you know. So, and then who wants to believe that too? Like your oldest killed your youngest, you know? Like, that's pretty fucked, right? Like, nobody really wants to. What's that sound? Like, that's just like something that's really intense. But and the dad just kind of like they handle it pretty well. Like, with this kid acting like a psycho, like they think that he's acting like a nut, right? Elijah's acting like a crazy person. So, like, they handle him pretty well, too. That's just as being a child who lost his mother, you know. So, like, the dad's pretty calm, even though you can tell that the stuff happens. What I mean by that is stuff happens where it's just, like, as a different kind of human, you're just like, what a little fuck. What a little fucker. You know, because you're trying to look at it from the outside, right? Like, I'm trying to look at it from the parents' point of view of, like, they don't really know, you know. But, so he just tries to get, like, they have a psychiatrist and everything. They try and get him to talk to a psychiatrist, but then Macaulay's already kind of got her fooled. So, like, he's already went through, like, all of his options, you know. And at this time, the mother confronts Macaulay Culkin about the brother, you know. And she goes into, like, a shed that he has that, like, I don't know. I never had a shed when I was, like, 12. So I don't know what that's like, but, and especially to not have a parent going snooping there all the time, right? But she goes in there, finds the baby duck, or a rubber duck that the kid had in the tub when he died, right? And she was like, I was looking for that because she wanted it. It's her kid's fucking thing. Macaulay's like, it was mine first. You know, I'm sitting there thinking years later down the line, I'm like, that's a fucking trophy. Like, he has a trophy. That's his trophy from killing his brother, you know? Like a serial killer has fucking trophies. Really? Yeah. So then shit hits the fan there. They kind of get in an argument, and he takes the rubber ducky, and you remember I told you about that well. Well, haha. He runs to the well and throws it down the well. So that kind of, like, validates what I was saying. Okay, he's dead. Kind of validates what I was saying in a sense of that's like his trophy, his, like, where he keeps his trophies. I don't know, his fucking whatever death well. Well, I mean, like, at one point here, Macaulay pretty much admits it. You know, him and his mother are talking in the forest, and he pretty much admits it. And he's like, "You're gonna send me away," and yada yada yada. You know, like, playing that card. And then he runs away towards, like, a cliff area, where, like, you know, it's a big cliff and the ocean is right below. You know, and well, she runs up to the cliff, like, thinking that he jumped or something, and then he comes out of nowhere, pushes her off, and well, she makes it, she catches herself, and it's pretty funny in the scene. You could see a rope there, and that she blatantly grabs onto, and I thought that it was actually in the movie. I'm like, okay, well, there's like a rope there, and then it goes away. I was like, oh man, that's hilarious. That was like one of those weird mistakes that you see in movies. I don't know, but anyway. So then Elijah comes, he breaks out of the house because the dad and the psychiatrist are trying to, like, lock him down. And he knows what's going to happen. He knows that Macaulay's going to try and kill his mom. So he wants to, obviously, I walked right into that. So he runs and saves her pretty much. Like, they get into a fight, they're rolling around by the cliff, and then as she's working her way up, back up the cliff, like, onto, to them, they roll off. So then there's a conundrum there. She grabs onto both of them. Or is that what it is? I don't think it's a conundrum. Anyway, I'm stoned, like always. Welcome to my channel. So she's holding on to both of them, right? And, like, Macaulay just got done trying to kill her, and she knows that he's a broken psychopath, manipulative, you know. So, like, and then she sees that Elijah's slipping. You know, he's got a terrible grip on her, and she's got a terrible grip on him. And he's a good kid. So she makes that hard decision, and she drops Macaulay Culkin. And in a scene where like when he's falling and he's screaming, right, and it's not supposed to be, I guess, funny, but I did chuckle because I just like pictured Kevin McAllister screaming, you know, because it's the same yell. It sounds exactly the same, but this time he's dying, right? He's falling off of a cliff, right? And he hits the rocks. You don't see it, you know, but they show his body afterwards. You know, it's just a doll, but you know, they weren't going to be too gruesome with it, right? It's a fucking child. But then it ends with, you know, Elijah in the desert or something, just kind of monologuing, you know, in his head about stuff. I don't know. Him and his dad, I guess, moved on, and he's got a good life. So that's the movie. Go and watch it. I don't do any movie that I cover. I don't do them a justice. Like, a lot of these movies really do deserve a watch, and they're usually on streaming services that if they're not free, then everybody or most people really kind of does have them. I know that not everybody has Amazon Prime, but you know, it's there. And then there's also the high seas, right? That's what I used to do. I mean, I'll still do it sometimes. Yeah, but that's a movie that I remember. Like 93. I was born in 90. So I don't know. As long as it's been on fucking syndication or whatever. I remember back in the day, that's what you got. You know, a movie came out on whatever HBO or Stars, whatever movie channel you had. And it would just keep playing over and over again. And that was one of them. That was a really good. I remembered that movie the other day. I was like, holy shit, I gotta watch it and talk about it. Now let's just try not to die against the patriarch. I'm not gonna guarantee anything. Wait, what? Did it just bug out? I think this just bugged. Okay. Yeah. So, I guess no boss fight for this video? Yay, we won, guys! Yay! Yay! We won! That was the hardest boss fight ever. What the fuck happened there? Well, if you stuck around this long, I really appreciate you. Yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you think about it. Have you seen it? Go and watch it. It's a good one. I don't know. You got any suggestions? Like any good, like, I don't know. They don't have to be short or old, but like that's kind of the kick that I've been on. I don't know. I might start watching Tales from the Crypt again, like I did last year, and talk about those again. I don't care if I've talked about it before. Each year, I kind of get more. I got more subs, I got more views, and not everybody watches the old stuff. And even if you do, sorry. I might say something different this time. I don't know. But anyway, I'll stop ranting and rambling and let you get on with your day or night. If you would just please consider doing all the things that YouTube likes and that I appreciate very, very much. Thank you so much for hanging out. It really does mean the world to me. I know I say that every time as like an outro, but I really do mean it. It's not just hollow, empty words. I really do appreciate you guys and taking your time out to listen to my stupid ass ramble. But anyway, you have a good one, and I will catch you on the next one.